Temple of Poseidon is located on Cape Sounion on the southern tip of Attica, which, in ancient times, was part of the city-state of Athens. Destroyed by the Persian king Xerxes I in 480 BC during his invasion of Greece, it was rebuilt under the Athenian statesman Pericles during the Athenian Golden Age. In fact, after the Athenian victory over the Persian navy at the Battle of Salamis, an entire enemy trireme, or warship, was placed there as a dedication to Poseidon. Although it served as a functioning temple, it most likely served additional purposes. Perched high upon the cliffs, the temple allowed unobstructed views of the sea lanes. It could identify incoming mercantile vessels to Athens, which was important as the Athenians levied taxes on goods at their main port in Piraeus. Furthermore, it was a strategic defensive lookout for approaching foreign navies. Cults to Poseidon date as far back as the Late Bronze Age and figure prominently in the Greek Mycenaean civilization. To put this in perspective, this would be around 1,000 years prior to when the present Temple of Poseidon was constructed in 440 BC. The Mycenaean period spans a period approximately between 1750 to 1100 BC. This would correspond to the age of the mythical heroes Achilles and King Agamemnon, whom are well known in popular culture. One of the most surprising things regarding Mycenaean religious practice is the lack of clarity regarding hierarchy. There is still no convincing evidence that the traditional hierarchy of gods, with Zeus at its head, had been established. In fact, in some Mycenaean cities, Poseidon may have reigned supreme, bestowed with the title of Wanax, loosely translating the tribal chief, king, or military leader. Furthermore, Poseidon had a far more powerful purview in Mycenaean Greece, as he was considered by some to be the king of the underworld, which was later to be subsumed by the god Hades. Finally, many Linear B clay tablets from this period prominently mention Poseidon over that of Zeus. All this is very exciting as it suggests fundamental change in the religion itself. Now, it's impossible to say with absolute certainty that Poseidon was considered superior or equal to that of Zeus. After all, Linear B tablets from the Mycenaean period are bereft of myths, hymns, prayers, ritual prescriptions, or sanctuary regulations. However, we do get a sense that it was ambiguous at the very least. In the late 13th, early 12th century BC, the Mycenaean civilization entered a rapid decline, culminating in a complete collapse of every Mycenaean palatial state. The traditional explanation for this decline was invasion by a Greek-speaking ethnic group called the Dorians from central and northern Greece. The literary tradition describes the Dorians as descendants of none other than Heracles or Hercules. Their invasion was purportedly to reclaim their birthright of the Peloponnese promised to their forefather Heracles by Zeus. Considerable debate continues regarding the exact cause of the Mycenaean collapse, including internal uprising, wars between rival Mycenaean states, and climate change. With the fall of the Mycenaean states, Greece entered the so-called Greek Dark Age. Written records are largely absent during this period, but we can deduce that Poseidon as a god and the entire Greek pantheon was beginning to take on a more familiar structure based upon the works of the Greek poets Homer and Hesiod. The poems The Iliad and the Odyssey were written by Homer sometime in the late 8th century, early 7th century BC, corresponding to the Archaic period. In these poems, Poseidon is no longer king of the underworld, and we have the earliest written mention of the god Hades, who has subsumed this role. In the poem Theogony by Hesiod, also written in the Archaic period, the preeminence of Zeus over all other gods is attested to. Then, next, the goddesses sing of Zeus, the father of gods and men, as they begin and end their strain, how much he is the most excellent among the gods and supreme in power. It now becomes clear that the role of Poseidon had metamorphosized during the Greek Dark Age and started crystallizing into its final form by the Archaic period. Although there is no equivalent religious text like the Bible in ancient Greek religion, the work of Homer and Hesiod were likely the next best thing in defining the nature, roles, and responsibilities of the gods. The present Temple of Poseidon that we see today was completed in 440 BC during the Greek Classical Age. It was constructed upon the remains of an archaic period temple destroyed by Persian king Xerxes, mentioned earlier. By this period, Poseidon was well established as god of earthquakes, Poseidon Earthshaker, god of horses, Poseidon Hippios, and god of the sea, Poseidon Pontomedon. This classical age temple of Poseidon, situated at the southernmost point of Attica, overlooking the Aegean Sea, is truly a spectacular sight. One can only wonder what emotions ran through the Athenian sailors over 2,000 years ago when they sailed past the Temple of Poseidon at Cape Sounion on their return voyage back to Athens. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, subscribe, and check out my other videos on ancient Greece.